Okay, we're going to look at our reference chart here, and we are going to look at area. That's what we're going to focus on. We have area of a triangle, rectangular parallelogram, and trapezoid. All of them, you are going to see B and H. So B is the base, and H is your height. Notice that is a lowercase b, and yes, that's important. It's the length of the base of the two-dimensional shape. Now, when you're looking at base and height, it must make a right angle. So the base and height have to make a right angle. If I look at the formula here for, rectangle parallelogram is just A equals BH, means base times height. Triangle, we have A equals 1/2 base height. We have talked about that is the same thing. Multiplying by 1/2 is the same thing as dividing by 2. So we have been using the formula A equals base times height divided by 2. With trapezoid, we have a B1, B2, and an H. So B1 is the length of the base 1, and B2 is the base 2. So in a trapezoid, that would be like these two right here, and then you have those connecting. And then the height has to make that right angle with one of the bases. So we have A equals 1/2 base 1 plus base 2 times the height, but we also said that could be A equals base 1 plus base 2 times the height divided by 2. They are the exact same formula, just written in different ways. So it doesn't matter which one you use. We've just been using the one that's dividing by 2. Okay, we're going to start by looking at our formulas for a rectangle. So we're going to look at our formula chart, and we're going to write exactly what it says for the area of a rectangle, which is area equals BH, and that means base times height. Remember, the base and height have to make a right angle. This one, it's pretty clear cut. Here's my base, here's my height. So that one's pretty easy. That means my base is 5 5/10, and my height is 3 1/10. So what's important, and this is because I know where you're going to go after this, right? You want to take the time to rewrite the formula with those values plugged in. So instead of writing B, I'm going to write the value of B, which is 5 5/10. And then that's times the height. But instead of writing H, I'm going to write the value of H, which is 3 1/10. So I'm going to go ahead and do that multiplication. So I'm going to do 5 5/10 times 3 1/10. So I'm going to start with 1 times 5 is 5. 1 times 5 is 5. I'm going to put that 0 right there. Then I've got 3 times 5 is 15. Carry the 1. 3 times 5 is 15 plus 1 is 16. Now I'm going to add it all up. It's 5, 10, carry that 1, that's 7, 1. So 1,705. No, I got to count my decimal places and the factors. That's 1, 2. So there's 2 total in my product. So that would mean my area is 17 5/100 square centimeters. Do not forget to label it. Now we're going to look at parallelogram. So I want you to look at that reference sheet and see what is the formula. Take the time, even if you think you know it, just look at it and write it. It says area equals base times height. Now remember, your base and height have to make that right angle. So I see a little symbol for right angle. That's where this height and this base meet. So that means my base will be 7 and my height is 4. So that makes it pretty simple. Okay, let me just kind of zoom out here. Area is going to equal 4 times 7. So again, take the time to write it with it plugged in. I know you can do 4 times 7 in your head, but take the time to write it anyways. And I actually messed that up. It's actually area A equals 7 times 4, but that's the same thing. So that means area is 28, and it doesn't tell us, is it feet, is it inches? So we're just gonna write units, but it's still squared because it's square units. This next one, it is a triangle. I want you to take a moment and look at your chart and write the formula for area of a triangle in this spot. So you should have written A equals 1/2 base height, or A equals base times height divided by 2. They're the exact same thing because multiplying by 1/2, same thing as dividing by 2. So remember, the base and the height have to make a right angle when they intersect or they meet. So here's this right angle. So what that means is that this 13 is going to be the base and this 9 is going to be the height. So base was 13 and the height was 9. Even if you're like, I got this, take the time to rewrite it with those numbers plugged in. So I'm going to write 13 times 9 divided by 2. So now we're going to do 13 times 9, so do that. So you get 117. Y'all, I can't stress enough. Plug that back in and just rewrite. So I have area equals 117 divided by 2. That one step of writing that is going to help you if you get into the habit of doing that. So now, yes, I have to do the division. So I'll come over here and I'll do 117 divided by 2. So 2 does not go into 1, it goes into 11 how many times? 5, which is 10. Subtract, I get 1. I'm going to bring that 7 down. 2 goes into 17 8 times, which is 16. Subtract, I get 1. I'm going to go ahead and add a decimal 0. I'm going to bring that decimal up and that 0 straight on down. So 2 goes into 10 5 times, which is 10. So I get 58 and 5/10. So that means my area is 58 and 5/10. And what is that? That is inches. So square inches. Now let's look at this next one. This is a trapezoid. Please look at your reference chart and take a moment, and I want you to write down the formula for a trapezoid. So you could have written area equals 1/2 times base 1 plus base 2 times the height. Or we've talked about in class, area equals base 1 plus base 2 times the height divided by 2. No matter what, this right here is an addition symbol. It is not a multiplication symbol, so be careful with that. Again, the height has to make a right angle with the base, with one of the bases. So here is the height that shows you that right angle. So here is one base, and there's the other base. So base 1, I could say would be 6, and base 2 is 8. Oh no, wait, no! I said base 1 was 8, and base 2 was 6, but you said it the other way. Y'all, it does not matter which one's base 1 and which one's base 2, as long as you don't use the same one for both of them. So then my height is 4. So again, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to plug this into the formula. So I'm going to use that second one. Okay, area equals, and then it says base 1 plus base 2. So I have 6 plus 8. Then it says times the height. That's 4. Divided by 2. Take the time to write it out. So just like when we're doing order of operations, same type thing. So now I'm going to do, what would you do first in order of operations? Parentheses. So 6 plus 8. So area equals 6 plus 8 is what? 14 times 4 divided by 2. Now what would you do next in order of operations? 14 times 4. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to do 14 times 4. 4 times 4 is 16. Carry that 1. That's 4. It's 1 is 5. Take the time to write these steps every single time. Trust me, I know what I'm talking about. I'm old. I've taught a long time. I know the mistakes you're going to make. Just take the time to show these steps. I'm not really old. I'm only 29. Yeah. So that's 56 over 2. Now I'm going to do 56 divided by 2. So 56 divided by 2. 2 goes into 5 2 times, which is 4. Subtracting it 1. That's 16. 2 goes into 16 8 times, which is 16. So what that means is my area is equal to 28. And it does not tell me what kind of units it is, so I'm just going to put square units. Now, some of you may be saying, well, wait a minute, we've also done where we kind of divide first. So I'm going to show that to you, but I don't want you to freak out and be like, what is she doing? If it makes sense, I could say area, when I get to this step over here of 14 times 4 divided by 2, or even before that really, I could go ahead and divide there the 14 and 2 and make that a 7 and that a 1. And then I'm left with 7 times 4, because anything divided by 1 is itself. So that'd be 28 square units. If you think that like what I just did there doesn't make any sense, don't worry about that. Just do the regular multiplication and division. But the important thing is you show the step every time. Rewrite it with your new step. That's going to help you help you not forget to divide by 2 or some part of the steps. I hope this helps.